Hello,
Hi, Mario.
how are you?
Good. Are you there? I
I
know you.
am. But I
I'm getting.
normally I normally put the book first, but if you're there, it won't show at the beginning of the year. But
Oh, really? That's how it
no,
works? Oh,
no, I don't know why.
okay. It's going to be nice this weekend. Nice weather, finally.
Yeah, not in the East Coast.
What's that?
Not in the East Coast.
Oh my God, it's gonna be so cold back east. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Where my kids are, it's gonna be 2 degrees tomorrow.
2 Fahrenheit.
Two. Yeah. It's fine. Oh, that's the low. The high's 21.
Still very cold.
Very cold. Oh, yeah, yeah. Wow, it's very cold. Wow. We're very lucky.
No.
Oh, you know what it is? It's
What's that?
16. 2 degrees Fahrenheit is minus 16.6 Celsius. That's
Oh
cold.
gosh,
That's cold.
that's cold.
Hmm. And 21 is also below zero.
Yes.
Checking
Minneapolis
my
-1 tonight.
Oh, well, that maybe will cool down the ice people.
Yeah, it's more ice. I got more ice. That's funny. Uh,
You see in the paper today, they released 3 million documents from Epstein, and they still
yeah, I
have,
don't. I don't. Why so many documents? How could you have so many documents? Three. I know. Three.
it's
Besides
like,
what they already released,
it's 180,000 photos.
his photomat bill must have been very high.
Yeah.
How do they have so
But
much?
many of them are not really photos, are videos that he downloaded from the internet,
Oh, oh,
and
oh,
and many they didn't show because they portray
oh!
porno
Children.
children, pornographic children.
That was on his computer.
Yeah,
That was on his computer.
on his phone, computer. But they downloaded photos of somebody in the Obama administration, Clinton, Musk, uh,
Oh,
Trump, and I don't know how many.
deleted. He deleted his or something.
I don't know.
So what are you describing, Mario?
Oh, the documents they released from Epstein today. 3 million documents.
Okay. Anything of interest?
Well, there's photos of our big leader and photos of somebody in the Obama administration and Elon Musk, Clinton. I don't know.
Okay.
Same old.
Okay, we're on Yud Ches 18. Rabbi Yehuda Sarabanech Pligi. We have this machlokas between Rabbi Ezra and the Chachamim regarding the kavana during the Machshavas Pigul, regarding something that's normally not eaten or something that's normally not burned. And then we have this machshava at the time of shchita to leave something over, like to leave the blood over till tomorrow. Now that's normally not the Chachamim say that's not a machshava that creates pigul, but Rab, but but was the Rabbi Eliezer said it's possible, and Rabbi Yehuda says that Rabbi Yehuda Sarabanach pligi that laniach divrei kol pasul, that here everyone will hold that if you have in mind to leave over blood till tomorrow, it will pasul, not pigul, but pasul. Why? Gzeira mixus dama atu kol dama. you might have in mind some of the blood, but you might have in mind to leave over all the blood. And according to this version, having in mind chol damo psula deraisa, that would create a psul even midaraisa, not just rabbinic. The Tanya, Amar Layam Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda responded to the Chachamim, Moidimli, Shim hinichu l'mocher shaposul. Wouldn't you agree that if you left the blood itself, not having a machshava to leave the blood, but if you actually physically left the blood over, it would be puzzle. So therefore, chishav lanichu l'mocher nami puzzle. So therefore, if you have in mind to leave all of the blood tomorrow, that's also a psul. So based on Rabbi Yehuda, both Tanakh and Rabbi Yehuda say that Rabbi Eliezer and Chachamim do not argue about leaving all the blood. And Rabbi Eliezer disagrees and says even here there's a machlokas, and only Rabbi Eliezer would say it's possible, but Chachamim would say it's okay. Freit the Gemara, is it indeed correct that everybody holds that it's possible if you have in mind to leave all the blood? V'atanya Omer Rebbe, Kshalachti lematzos midoisoi eitzel Rabbi Eliezer ben Shmuel. When I went to drain out all of my measures, now what does that mean? So when people would go to buy some kind of fluid thing, they might have left the previous kli overnight to drain everything out because they wanted to make sure that every last cc drop of liquid that had been there prior left out. This was a euphemism used by Chachamim. I want to sort of ask of him all the questions I've ever wanted to ask from him. That's when somebody says lamatzos midoisoi, eitzel somebody, that's what it meant. Somebody says lamatzos midoisov shel Rabbi ben Shmuel. I wanted to drain him of all of his ideas. And what is the continuation of Rebbe? Matzati Yosef Abavli Yosef Lefanov. Yosef the Babylonian was sitting in front of him, in front of Rabbi Eliezer ben Shmuel. V'haya chaviv lo b'yoser ad la'achas. Rabbi Eliezer this was a favorite Talmud of Rabbi Eliezer ben Shmuel. Omer lo. So the Talmud said to Rabbi Eliezer, Rebbe, Hashoichet es hazevach laniach midam l'mocher ma'u. Somebody shechts a korban, has in mind to leave all the blood till tomorrow. Omer lo kosher. Standard answer is that it's kosher, like the Chachamim. Then he asked him Arvis. He asked him the question again at night. Omer lo kosher. He asked him Shachris. Omer lo kosher. Tzorayim, midday, Omer lo kosher. Then Mincha, Omer lo kosher lo Rabbi Eliezer poisel. You know, the Chachamim hold it's kosher, but there is a Mandam Rabbi Eliezer who says it's possible. Tzavu ponav shel Yosef Abavli. The face of Yosef Abavli lit up. Omer lo. So Rabbi Eliezer said to his Talmud, Yosef kimedumani shlekivavanu shmosenu arata. I see that I didn't really hit the mark until now. You're only happy now. Omer lo, yeah, Rabbi Hain. Elish Rabbi Yehuda Posel Shonali. He had learned from another Rabbi, Rabbi Yehuda, that Rabbi Eliezer held that it was possible. V'chazarti al kol tamidov v'ikash lichaver lo matzis. I went to other students of Rabbi Yehuda who taught me to find out that they remember that he said that, but I never found anybody. You have returned the lost object to me, because I had always questioned, did I hear that? Did I not hear that? Now that you said it, you've returned a great lost object to me. I'm very happy. Zolgu ein of Demoshe Rabbi Eliezer ben Shmuel. He started crying, Rabbi Eliezer, the Rebbe. Amar ashreichem tamidei chachamim, shedivrei chavivim aleichem b'yoser. Look how beloved words of Torah are to Talmidei Chachamim. Kara alav mikra zeh. He referred to a pasuk, thinking about his Talmud, Rav Yosef, Ma'ahavti sarasecha, Kol hayom hisichasi. How I love your Torah. It is my discussion all day. There was a tradition, there was a chain here, because his Rabbi Yehuda was the son of Rabbi Loi. Rabbi Loi was a direct Talmid of Rabbi Eliezer. That's why your father, that's why your Rabbi Yehuda knew that. However, says the Gemara, if indeed Rabbi Yehuda had taught Yosef that everybody agreed, it wasn't just Rabbi Eliezer, but everybody agreed that it was possible. What kind of lost teaching was there? If he had just said over that it's a machlokas, well, that's the same thing that every teacher was teaching. Elamai kosher of Rabbi Eliezer Poiselasni, what do you mean that he said over that it's kosher and Rabbi Eliezer apostles? Why would you say mipnei? And then it's the same, we learn the same machlokas. When Rabbi Yehuda taught Yosef Abavli, he actually taught him it was divrei kol. Everybody held it was possible. That there was a concept, that there was a Tana who said it was possible. We don't paskin that way, but this is just the way the Gemara brings a teaching down as a Masorah, even though we don't necessarily paskin like it. New Mishnah. Now we have a lot of processes for a mincha, and this Mishnah is going to go through different processes that if you didn't do the process, is it kosher or is it not kosher? So we know a mincha is a combination usually of flour and oil. There's a lot of oil that's used. First you put oil in before you put flour. Then you put flour on top of the oil. Then you pour a little bit more of oil and then they mix it. Then at the end of everything, more oil is poured. That's what's called yitzika. It says, v'yatzak aleh shemen. That's the yitzika that we're talking about here. So there is oil there. It's just this final pouring. Let's say lo yatzak. Let's say it wasn't poured. Or let's say lo bolal. Let's say he didn't. I said there's 3 steps of oil. First, you pour oil in the empty kli, then flour, then a second pouring of oil where you mix it, and then after it's all done, you pour the last oil. So let's say you did the first and the third, you didn't do the middle. Or lo posas. The Chumash says pasos osa pitim. This, you have to break the mincha into pieces when you bake a mincha. Not every mincha is baked, but when you bake the mincha, you break it like you break them into pieces. Let's say you didn't break them. Now, with a mincha, after you did the kmitza and put the kmitza in a vessel, before you burnt the kmitza, you salted it. Let's say velo malach. Also, the minchas ha'omer was waved. It was hanafa. They waved it, like we shake the lulav. 3 front, 3 the side. It's called hanafa. Lo higish. Before you did the kmitza, you brought the mincha near the mizbeach. That's called hagasha. Oh, shapatatam piti merubos. You broke the mincha to pieces, but they were very large, and you're supposed to break it into small pieces. Some of the menachos, a rokik, which was almost like a matzah, was like oven baked, and you painted some mincha on it. You painted some oil on the mincha. So all of these different processes, if they were not done, ksheira, the mincha is still kosher. And the Gemara is going to analyze each and every case. My lo yotzak. What does it mean? He didn't pour that last oil. Ilem lo yotzak klal. It cannot be that he didn't pour any oil. It says v'yotzakta le'Hashem and mincha he. He means if you don't do it, it's not good. Ella, what the Gemara says, lo yotzak kohen Elazar. There was yitzika, but a non-kohen did it. So this Mishnah is telling us a new halacha that if that pouring of the oil was done by a non-kohen, the mincha is kosher. Well, what about lo bola? Bola means you have to mix it. The flour and the oil has to be mixed. So are we going to learn lo bola nami, lo bola kohen elazar? Is the Mishnah going to be continuous with the Reisha? If lo yotzak refers to a non-kohen doing it, is lo bola the same thing? But halo, and implying that halo bolal klal, if no belila was done, the whole mincha is going to be psula. But it's not so. I'm going to show you in a Mishnah that if you have a mincha where you didn't mix the oil, the mincha is kosher. Vatnan. Shishim nivlolim. Shishim ve'echad ein nivlolim. There's 60 isaron. That's a certain measurement of flour. With one log shemen is enough. That will mix well. Shishim ve'echad ein nivlolim. But if you have 61 isarons with one log, it will not mix. Vavinamba. Kieni nivlolim havi. Well, who cares whether it was mixed? Vatnan. Lo bolal ksheira. If the blila was not done at all, l'chora, the mincha is kosher. Bamrav zera kol aroy lebila ain't bila makevespo. Here's a concept that appears throughout Shas. If the mixture could have been mixed if we mixed it, then you don't need mixing. So if you have a ratio of 60 to 1, or 59 to 1, or 58 to 1, or 57 to 1, anything less than 60 to 1, that mixture could be mixed. And therefore, lack of mixing that does not ruin the mincha. Kol she'ein roy lebila, bila makevespo. Now, if you have above, you have to mix it. And if you don't mix it, it would be puzzle. But here it seems we're learning it doesn't need blila at all, which goes against how we're trying to be medayik from the Gemara's discussion. So the Gemara says this attempt that you're trying to make, that when I said lo yotzak, it means a Kohen didn't do it. And you wanted to keep that going and say lo bala means a Kohen didn't do it. No. Midi area. Ha-kedi isa v'ha-kedi isa. Lo yotzak means lo yotzak Kohen elazar. The last pouring of the oil, where we say it's still kosher, is when a Kohen didn't do it, but a Zar did it. And when it says lo bala means lo bala klal, and it's still kosher. Period. O shepasam pitim rubos ksheru. If you bake a certain mincha and you break it into, we say, large pieces than it should have been, it's still ksheru. So the Gemara says, I don't understand. You already told me hashtaloi pasas klal ksheira. If you didn't break it at all, it's kosher. So pitim rubos. Why would there be any kasha that you broke it? You just didn't broke it up into small pieces. Why would that be a shaila? My pitin merubos shariba petitin. You have a certain number of pieces, and it's not a matter of size, it's a matter of number. And we'll see, you have to fold it in half, then in that half into another half. And we're going to see you have to end up with a certain amount of pieces. And if you end up with too much, that's what we're meant here. And that the chiddush is, even if it's too much, it's still kosher. If you want, I'll give you another answer. It means you broke it into pieces, but they were too big. So what's the chiddush? You already told me even if without breaking it up at all, it's okay. When you don't break it at all, and you have like these big loaves, you can call it a challah. When you break it up into large pieces, maybe the lo Torah's challah is ikala. Maybe the lo Torah's challah ikah, the lo Torah's psisin ikah. It's like halfway. It's not a challah, and it's not ptitim. Kamash Blan, that it's all okay. Okay. We've come out that a non-Kohen, if he does that pouring of the oil into the bincha, we say it's okay. The Gemara then is going to argue, we're going to try to argue, that therefore our Mishnah cannot be Reb Shimon. The Tanya. Reb Shimon Oimer. Kol Kohen she'eino moide b'avoda, ein lo chelik b'kuhuna. A Kohen who does not believe in the avoda, does not
Yes, it's accepted.
does not admit to the avoda that it's something that's given by Hashem. So ein lo chelik b'kuhuna. He doesn't share when they give out the portions for the Kohanim to eat. He doesn't get any. Shenem. Hamakriv is dam hashlamim besachelev in ne'aron lo siyashuka yamin lemana. The Kohen who offers the blood of the shlamim, the chelev, so he gets the right thigh, and they darshan. Moide bavoda yesh lo chelik b'kuhuna, she'ena moide bavoda ein lo chelik b'kuhuna. He has to be moide bavoda. V'yein li elazu bilvad. Now, I might think it's only refers to that avoda. What about minayin l'rabos chamesh esrei avodos? The Gemara is not going to list 15 different processes that the Kohen has to admit to them. Hayitzukos, pouring, which we're talking about pouring oil on a mincha. Blilois, mixing. Tito, breaking it up into pieces. Hamalichos, salting. Tnufois, waving. Hagashois, bringing the mincha close. Kmitzos, performing the kmitzah. Aktaros, burning it. Hamalikos, breaking the bird's neck with your fingernail. Hakabolos, receiving blood after shchita. Hazos, sprinkling the blood on the mizbeach. Hashkos sota, having the sota woman drink the waters. Arifas egla, decapitating the calf when the process of egla rufa was done. Taras mitzora, placing the blood and the oil on the ear, the thumb, and the big toe of the mitzora. Nesias kapayim be'im b'ftim be'im b'chutz, blessing Klal Yisrael, whether it was done inside, whether it was done outside of the Beis Hamikdash. How do we know minayin that the Kohen also has to believe in these avodos? Talmud loimer b'mnei Aaron, avoda mesruv b'nei Aaron. Kol Kohen she'eino moide ba, ein lo chelik b'kuhuna. He has no chelik in these in giving out if he doesn't believe in these avodos. Now we mentioned that one of these that he has to be moide in is yitzika, pouring the oil. Therefore, how could you say that it's kosher bizarre? It must be that the Kohen has to be involved. How could our Mishnah seem to say that a non-Kohen could do it, but l'chora that must be against Reb Shimon? So on Rav Nachman, no, lo kasha. Kan b'minchas kohanim. Where Reb Shimon said the Kohen has to be involved and not the Tsar, that's a mincha offered by Kohanim. We haven't learned this in depth yet, but when a Kohen brought a mincha, it was completely burnt. There's no kmitza and then you eat the rest. The whole flour oil mixture was thrown on the fire. Kan b'minchas Yisrael. But a mincha that Yisrael brings, the bas kmitzahi, mikmitza ve'elech mitzvahs kahuna. It's only from the kmitza on do you need kohen, but everything before that doesn't need kohen. So minchas Yisrael, the pouring of the oil is before kmitza. So limed al yitzika ublila, even mixing, is also before you do the kmitza. Ksherim bizarre. But minchas kohanim de lav bas kmitzahi. I've already explained that the minchas kohanim is completely thrown. There's no kmitza. So meikara by kuna. That mincha processing requires kuna from the get-go. So our Mishnah could be, according to Reb Shimon, he could agree that by minchas Yisrael, a zar could do it. However, it's not so pashut. Amalei Rava Michte. Let us consider minchas kohanim eiches Rabbi Yitzika. Where do we see that a minchas kohanim requires yitzika? You learn it from a minchas Yisrael. And we say, ma hasam ksher bizar, afachanami ksher bizar. If the whole din of pouring oil on the minchas kohanim comes from minchas Yisrael, so if the pouring by minchas Yisrael is kosher bizar, the pouring on a minchas kohen should also be kosher bizar. So l'chora, we don't have this way of resolving the kasha. So it must be that we have a problem with our Mishnah that seems to suggest that it's kosher bizarre. Ikid Yamar of Nachman loy kasha, kan benikmatzos. When a mincha needs kmitza, and you have things pre-kmitza and you have things post-kmitza, that type of mincha pre-kmitza can be done by non-kohen. Kan, the Baraisa is talking about b'sheinik matzos, where there is no kmitza. And those require kohen from the beginning. Again, Amar le Rav Michli, sheinik matzos meicha Yisra b'liyitzika. Even those menachos that you don't have to do kmitza from, they're learned out in terms of its pouring of the oil is minik matzos, and therefore they should be treated kinik matzos. Mahasam ksher bizar, fachanami ksher bizar. The Gemara ends up elamachvarta masnisin like Reb Shimon. It's obvious our Reb Shimon cannot be, our Mishnah cannot be like Reb Shimon, because clearly Reb Shimon required a kohen in that brisa. So, my time in Rabbanon, l'chora Reb Shimon holds that the yitzika has to be done by a kohen, and it looks like the Chachamim hold that the yitzika can be done by a non-kohen. What's the basis of their machlokas? Amar Kra, v'yatzak aleh shemen. You shall pour on the mincha shemen, oil. V'nasan aleh levona. You have to place on the mincha spice. V'heviyah el bnei Aaron hakohanim. Then you bring it to the kohen. V'komatz. And then he does the kmitza. You notice it only brings up bnei Aaron kohanim after the yotzak aleh Hashem and v'nasan aleh levona. It's mikmitza ve'elech mitzvahs kahuna. It teaches us it's only from kmitza on that you require kohen. Limed al yitziku blila sheksher bizar. Okay, we'll stop here. It's a good place to stop. Housekeeping. Tomorrow, Daf Yomi will be at 7, and then we're going to learn Perek Ches of Sefer Esther, 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay, Ernie Shkrach, we'll miss you, Shabbos.
We'll miss you too.